We also have Miss Adu here. Miss Adu, welcome to
Hi.
the show.
Welcome. Thank you. I said welcome to you.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your business?
Okay, I'm Abana Adu. I am the owner of the Pregnancy and Womb Wellness Center that's located in DFW. And what we do is we serve women before, during, and after pregnancy. So specifically, we work with women. We give them doula services. We help them before they're pregnant. Even in labor, we'll stay with the woman while she's in the hospital, whether she's having a natural birth at home or at a birthing center, or also a C-section. And we also serve women during the postpartum period, help them out with breastfeeding and things like that.
Okay, nice. And how long have you been in business?
I've been in business for about 10 years.
10 years. And where are you located?
We're located in Arlington, Texas right now.
Okay, nice. I actually have a cousin, shout out to Cheryl Eddingberg. She's getting ready to do the maternity, what is it called? The midwife.
Okay,
she's going to school.
Yes,
that's what she's doing. Oh, yeah, hats off to you guys. There's no way I could do that. So anyways, introduce myself. My name is Yolanda. I'm the host of the show. Let's talk about it with Yolanda. Also, I am the owner and founder of Something Classier LLC that focuses on relationship enhancement. Make sure you guys check me out on Facebook and Instagram. And also, I have another company where I actually help entrepreneurs. And so, I don't know if you heard, I'm going to get ready to do the Boss and Boss annual conference. It's coming up March 2nd. So we have a few investors that's actually on a board, and it's geared towards entrepreneurship. It's kind of where the entrepreneurs meet investors. So today, I invited you guys on so we could talk about the different challenges that we face as entrepreneurs, small business owners, starting your businesses. What are some of the things that you guys have seen, Lakeith?
Just funding. Funding is definitely one. Being really scared to get out there and just do it. I think a lot of people have really great ideas, but they get really scared because they don't want to fail. But I think failing is part of the good part because then you know what not to do the next time. And you just got to keep going.
Okay. So funding, of course, and
yeah. As far as challenges, it just depends on the market that you're in. I really honestly, business-wise, I don't think I have any challenges. I have personal challenges with the lack of childcare. So I'm like a mother who have limited support as far as like outside my business. But as far as like my business, my clients are great. I actually just finished a business coaching program, so I've gotten a lot of my questions answered and a lot of the struggles that fear, marketing. I've just gotten a lot better at it. So I don't think I have any challenges right now. I'm excited to announce that I'll be growing to a larger location in February 2019. I've gotten a lot of good support from the community.
Oh, that's awesome. So starting out, did you face, what were your challenges like when you started out?
Well, just me personally, like I said, my personal challenge, I'm just not really a person that lets excuses I guess, control me. I have a lot of challenges, but I don't really, I really don't consider them challenges because whatever I want to do, I do it. I've been able to travel. Like I said, if I had, child care,
right,
then that's like my obstacle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me give you a high five because I have challenges. I don't know.
I definitely.
There are. I'm not saying that there are not any challenges. They are there, but I just kind of seem to, I don't know,
roll with the punches.
Roll with it.
Yeah, and I think maybe I don't look at my challenges that I have. Like my neighbors that I have now. I'm getting into another situation. That was like one of my challenges. The neighbors that I have.
Okay. So I know some of the things that I have seen, especially in the Black community, the lack of support.
Yeah, that's really big, especially in my industry, going into beauty supplies, because there are so many, non-African Americans. It's not even really a good, it's not saying that isn't good. It's not even a really, an industry that we have tapped into. It's a $2.3 billion company. And we only quarter the market by 7,000 stores. And that's between the U.S. and Canada.
Oh, wow.
So that really says something. And then we've had a lot of companies here, even in the DFW, just by researching it, that have had to close their doors because of lack of support. But then we get online and we see these videos of these, you know, Asian stores where they're abusing our people, and we're doing nothing about it, and we're still going in there to spend our dollar. And I think that we've got to change that. That has to be a big change. And if we don't start supporting each other, we're never going to be able to, we're never going to have anything that's ours. Hair, everybody in here wears weave. Everybody has hair care products.
This is natural.
We all do because we're women. We love to look nice. It just
Right.
is what it is. And we go into the beauty supply store and we spend our money, and they can't even tell us what products are good for our hair. They can't tell us what's going to help us with hair growth. They can't tell us anything that's going to keep our hair healthy because they don't know. And I think that we need to start really going in and supporting our Black-owned businesses, especially our hair businesses, not just She's Happy Hair. Like, they've done great, and I commend them. 2 men selling weave out of the trunk of their car. I mean, that's awesome.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's where they started from the bottom, literally. And out of Houston, Texas. But we need to start supporting these that are actual beauty supplies that can tell you how to fix your hair. And I think that's one of the things that I am really passionate about is healthy hair. Like, I want you to be able to come in, talk to me and say, you know, look, I have breakage. I don't know what to put in my hair. So what do I do? And I can go and tell you what products would be good for you. That's one of my biggest pet peeves about going into those stores. They don't tell us.
Yeah, I so agree with you, because I can recall on a time going into the store, you know, for Penny, Snob, shout out to Penny. She does a really good job on the box or whatever. But so anyways, I'm asking, hey, which hair sheds? You know, like, what's a good, they can't tell me anything. And I ended up selecting the hair. Every time I lay down on the pillow, the hair sheds, you know, everywhere you go. You know, I'm at an interview and then there's hair and I'm like, oh my word, like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. They're just trying to make a dollar. They could care less about what happens to your hair. And it's sad, but I mean, that's what it is.
Right, and just not in the hair industry. In the industry that you're in, do you see, is it prominent with African Americans?
Well, as far as like the challenges, yeah, there's definitely medical racism, you know, with being a doula. So, and that's the reason why, you know, we really have a high infant and maternal mortality rate. We've basically pretty much been shut out of the industry. But, you know, I used to feel, you know, a little bit discouraged by that, I guess a lot. But now I have a different mindset, and I've pretty much just focused on those who want me. Because there are people who want to be more educated about their birth, who want to be, they see the numbers, they see that a lot of their friends are going home without their babies, burying their babies, same with infants not being born by their biological mother because of some type of complication. But right now, I'm just pretty much trying to focus on those women who are, you know, more concerned about their birth. And those who feel like, you know, they don't need my help or they want it for free, I just don't even, you know, pay attention to them. They're just not my customer. So I've just been getting more sharpened in and more zoomed in on my customer. And right. I mean, there's so many millions of people in Dallas.
Right.
I mean, just give me a few, you know what I'm saying? A couple of 100,000, a couple of hundred. You know, that's what I can handle right now. And that's what I'm just focusing on right now.
Right. But do you have a lot of support from the Black community in your business?
Actually, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, most of my clients are, probably 95% of them are Black women who are, like I said, just want to make a difference and are looking for that. So even in your industry, there are some of us who will not go and support, you know, those other people unless, I mean, it's got to be a desperation for me. But I will Google, you know, Black on, you know, of whatever I want first before I try to look outside. Yeah, so, and it's a lot of people like that. I heard Magic Johnson say that, you know, he targeted the African American community, and people, you know, had something to say about that. But we are, when we do become your customer, we are very loyal.
Right.
So, and that's the sector. And that's the people that are like that, that's the people that I want to be my customer. And anybody else, you're not my customer.
Right.
I mean, when I got into the hair industry, they told me there's a difference between a customer and clientele.
Right.
Clientele is going to bring you people. They're going to bring you people in their family. A customer, you may see them every once in a while. But, I mean, in our community, yeah, we definitely will have a loyal client that's going to come no matter what. I definitely agree with that.
And even when I was a nail technician for like over 20 years. I used to feel like, oh, black people don't support me, they don't support me. But every time something happened where I moved to another salon, they would follow me.
Oh,
yeah, and it was that small few that valued my service, that had like a loyalty to me, and they went wherever I went, and that was in Atlanta, and still to this day. If I wanted to move there and start back up, I can, with those few people who are still loyal to me, because they remember. If you treat us right and you do the service right,
Correct.
We're gonna be loyal. We have to, meet the needs of the customer.
And I think that's also an issue in our community, is our customer service.
I was just about to jump on that
sorry,
and say that.
But it is an issue, and you have to literally treat people. I treat my clients like they're my family. And they will tell you, when you come in, there's laughs, there's jokes.
Yeah.
It's all of that, because I want you to feel comfortable. Because if you don't feel comfortable, you're not going to come back.
That's true. There is a lack of quality customer service as well, because I think sometimes, not just as a black business owner, but as a business owner, period, sometimes we get complacent. We start to think that they need me.
Right.
That's
not true.
It's not true, because, Sammy Joe down the street can offer the same thing. It may be a little bit higher, but they have great customer service. And I think another thing that I've looked at too is, a lot of times before doing business, I do my best to do black businesses, support black businesses, is that I look at their social media profiles. And I think that hinders a lot of us as a black business.
Right.
Because we're held to a higher standard than others.
Also, yeah.
Off
the top.
Yeah, we are. We're held to a higher standard. People, they're going to Google you. They're going to look at your profile. They, of course, are going to look at reviews. But when you see, profanity, nudity, and all of these different things on your profile on social media, that's a hindrance. That's a hindrance, especially when you make it public. So I have a business page as well.
Right. I do too.
I'm locked out of it. I have a business profile that's why I've been accepting people on my personal page. But I had set up a business profile. I can't remember the email. I've got to find that. But so that way my business is separated from my personal. Because, there's no telling what I may post. Now, it's not going to be unethical or anything like that. It's not going to have profanity or anything in that. But that's something in how we carry ourselves.
Right.
Is as well, I was getting ready to help someone with a business, and they were mentioning that people were drinking and smoking outside of the previous business, and there were fights, so I didn't want to do business with them. Like, we're not going to go there. Like, you can't have a club at your business. Now, if that's the field that you're in, of course, that's completely different, but oh my gosh, I'm like, are you serious? And as far as support, I would say you're living proof that there's support. And another person in the DFW area that I like to give a shout out to is Jerisha Harrison with On Irene's Kitchen. Have you guys eaten there?
Man, I'm telling you, that black box is everything.
It's on South Irving Street.
Yeah.
She moved to MLK. She moved to MLK. Now, this lady, she will be at the Boss and Boss annual conference as well. She started out where I actually don't know, but she was at, I think it's like a Fiesta or El Ranchero or something like that. And the city would come and shut her down. Yeah. She threw away several hundreds of plates, that they would come shut her down. And I think at one point in time, I know that she was selling 300 plates a day or something like that. And her support came from black businesses. Now, when she moved, anytime you go in her restaurant, there is a line of people, and they're black people. So she provides great customer service, and she has a good quality product, which is very important. Oh my goodness, you got to go try it.
I'm sorry, I'm a foodie.
Yeah. So it's seafood. It's called On Irene's Kitchen. So that lets you know that there is support in the black community, but they support we not they. We support what we want to support, and it's got to be a good quality product. And like you say, you make your customers. So I've been to you as well. You know, she taught me how to do sew-ins. I still got to go back. But when you have that good customer service, it makes you want to go back. You have to make your customer feel welcomed as well.
We have to go over and beyond.
Oh yeah, of course.
And I'm a shy person. Like, I have to get really comfortable at first, but because I have a hard time. Even my mom, she's watching now. She she gets on to me because every time I go into a place, my thought process is to hand out my card. But when I get ready to, I'm just like, I can't do this. So it's comfortable. Now I'm more comfortable with it. Now I'm just like, here you go. Yes, I need you to place orders. We even deliver. Here you go. You like stuff like that. So I definitely have a good support system with my family, and I really appreciate that, even my friends and family. So, yeah, I like it.
Okay. Cool. Well, I do know that another challenge that I think African Americans face is that most of us are not, well, a lot of us, I won't even say most, but majority, we are not raised in a home where finances are taught. We're not really just taught to save.
Or even the entrepreneurial mindset.
Right, yeah, that's 100% correct. It's been you get 18, get a job, you know, go to college, get a job, and you work. The mindset of entrepreneurship is not taught. It's not, you know, embedded in us coming up. We don't have the resources. We don't have the knowledge how to go about conducting business.
That's true.
So I think that's a major setback. And I've noticed as well, I'm the person that I'm always reaching out to try to help my people. I'll help anybody, black, white, Hispanic, or whatever. But I really like to focus on African Americans because we don't have the knowledge. I'll just reach out to somebody on Facebook that have an issue. I'll, you know, inbox them. Hey, you know, what can I help you with? Or, you know, you need this and that. Maybe this is the way to go. But they're a little bit hesitant. You know, when I'm trying to help them.
It's the trust.
Yeah, we don't have. It's a lack of trust amongst each other. You know, but you'll go to whomsoever, and then they'll charge. Yeah, and you'll listen to them. And I've said the exact same thing, or actually something better. You know, the exact same thing. And then I notice as well, then they'll come back to me. You know, and I'm just like, it kind of makes me want to draw back and not want to do business with you because I've, you know, reached out to help. And I think we've got to learn to build trust among each other. Of course.
Oh, yeah.
And start teaching that early into our children, the entrepreneur mindset, teaching them about finances and how to start a business and just different things that, you know, we face and that we go through, but we've got to instill that into our kids at an early mind.
Right. And I think that's one thing that with my mom, she taught us, you know, do what makes you happy. Like, she wanted me to go to school, and it just wasn't for me, and she knew it wasn't. And so with every business that I've attempted, my mom has always been like, do it. You can do it. Do it. Why are you hesitant? Do it. You know, this is what you need to do. You need to research. She's always big on read it for yourself. Right. And then ask questions. So I think that's with me because she knew I wasn't a corporate person because I can't do rules. I'm not going to lie, I can't do rules. And so she's always encouraged me to, you know, find what my passion is and do it. So, I mean, but I understand what you're saying. I do the same with my kids. Like, I teach them. Like, everything that I do, everything they see me do, I teach them what I'm doing. To my spreadsheets for the company, to checking customers out, how you talk to people, all of that. I teach them that, and they see it in me. So even if they never pick this up or never want to take over the beauty supply store, that's fine with me, as long as they do something and they can instill that in them, whatever they do. That's all I want.
And you have little ones, though.
Yeah.
So, not just yet, I guess.
Oh, no, yeah, already.
Okay.
It's not, where you're going to work is not a question. Even where you're going to college is not a question. It's what type of business do you want. So right now, one of them is saying a pizza company. Yeah, right. But I mean, that's what, you know, that's what the dream is. So it's just start to just get that involved. I'm very entrepreneurial. So I'm just breaking the cycle that we're not going to go into that. We're thinking about money. I'm trying to raise my children not to be materialistic, but think more about, do you really need this? You know,
right.
I'm just already trying to change what I just never learned, which was just maybe save, but more I want to think about investing in your time. What are you going to do? And education is more important to me, and not necessarily a degree. But, you know, of course, if you need a degree to be in a position, then that's what you do. But I'm more on reading, and just like, you know, I'm just really big on like reading. I'm kind of like a nerd. I used to be a nerd. I don't have time to read as much anymore, but I'm more audio learning. But yeah, I'm really big on reading. You guys don't know. I will go and get like 10 books from the library.
Yeah, I like reading too. That was my escape when I was younger, is reading and music.
Nobody can take knowledge away from you.
At all.
Literacy is just so important to me.
Yes. I can't remember who it was, but a man once said, if you want to hide something from a black man, you put it in a book.
I heard that too. I don't know who said it.
Because we don't read. Now, I'm guilty of not reading like I should. I used to read. I used to read. But I guess I just got so tied up. Oh, you make me feel so bad too.
No, I mean, it doesn't have to be a book, though. It could be
anything.
Newspapers,
right.
Publications.
Right, no, I mean, I've just gotten out of the habit. I don't read like I should. I know that I should always be reading. Now, I read online. Does that count?
I mean,
yeah, but it's something about retaining those. You can retain the information better when you have the books, and that's, I believe, why we are actually losing our intelligence, because we have Google and we're texting. You know, we're not even writing. I'm there with you.
Queen.
I'm with you. We're not even writing anymore. We're texting.
I feel better when even now they're like, just type it on your phone. I'm like, I gotta write it down because I retain it better.
And that's a fact.
I'm a Google queen. If I don't know something, I'm gonna be like, Google, what is? And I'll tell my kids in a heartbeat, Google it. You'll figure it. It'll come up. Ask Siri. She'll tell you quicker than I. I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Let's Google it.
Yeah, that's more of me. I'll read magazines, though. I'm really, I'm getting into entrepreneur things. You know, the
That's
magazines.
good.
You know, reading those. I've got a whole entire bookshelf at the house, and I need to read some of those books. So, and another thing, I don't know if you guys knew, there are like 8 million minority businesses. Have you heard that? Mm-hmm. So in the U.S., there's like 8 million minority businesses.
In the country?
Yeah, in the United States of America.
Okay.
And African Americans make up 10% of that, which is like 2.5 million.
Oh, okay.
But out of that, only 2% of those actually are in the millions.
Yeah.
That actually even see anything, that are, just really, really successful businesses. And I think that needs to change. Like, I don't
education.
know. Yeah.
And other people come to the country, with the idea of business. We think we want to work for a big company instead of own it.
Owning it.
Yeah.
Because, let's be honest, this country has never been something that we can obtain, that's been told to us that we can even obtain or to even continue to have. So if we don't start putting it in our minds that we can do this and we can have these things, then it's not going to change.
It's all about the mindset. I think it's mind over matter. I told my son, I can't remember what we were talking about, but I think he said it was something about working, and he was saying he wanted to go work for the company. And my thing is no, son, that's okay starting out, but you want the whole goal is to own the company.
Right.
That's what you want to do. I think each job that I've ever had has built me for what I am, or what I'm becoming. You take the job working at McDonald's. People look at, when I was coming up, it taught me great customer service.
It's a $1 billion business.
How to treat a customer. Well, good customer service doesn't even exist hardly anymore now. When you go through McDonald's or a fast food restaurant, but that taught me. the dental office, that taught me how to do billing and how to do all these different things. And now I do my own dental billing. I contract for doctors and I do their I do their dental billing. So I'm like a lady of all hats. Each job that I've ever ran across, it has taught me something. And now, anytime I see anything, like literally, I know this may sound so crazy. There was a death in the family. And I said, we need to own a cemetery. And people were like, are you serious? There's a death in your family. But that's the mindset that I had. Because when I was looking for a place to get them buried, it was kind of hard for me to actually find a burial spot that wasn't charging all of this money and all of these different fees. And I was like, well, heck, we need to get some land and open a cemetery. Like, that may sound crazy, but everything that I look at it as if, hey, that's another business for me. And that's what I want my kids to see, and that's what I want to bring to the community as well. You know, that's something that I was going to address later on, is that a lot of people in the streets, they have that hustle about themselves, you know, with illegal things and doing things the wrong way. So the Boston Boss Annual Conference, that's one of the things that I want to focus on, is turning that illegal hustle into a legitimate hustle. Because if you can hustle like that for the wrong things, oh my gosh, what will you do with the right things?
And I will tell you, I know a lot of people who are in that lifestyle, and I guess that's one thing that I've taken from that is this 24/7 job. They don't ever sleep. It's 24/7. It's sad, but it's 24/7. Good ones, 24/7. So.
I work 24/7.
And I mean, I know I have one friend who was like, this is 8 days a week, 28 hours a day. I'm like, that's impossible. He was like, I don't sleep. I don't hardly eat. I have to get this money. And I'm like, but what are you doing with it?
What do you have to show?
What do you have to show for it? You don't have anything. What are you doing with it? At some point, you're going to have to stop this.
And let your money make money.
Yeah.
And start investing and
so
get out of the hustle
so
mentality.
So you can enjoy it. Are you not, you're continuing to do it, you're going to get caught up and you're not going to be able to even enjoy what you're doing. But,
exactly.
I want to be able to enjoy what I'm doing right now. All the hard work I'm putting in, I want to enjoy it. And I've told myself that within the next 2 to 3 years, my company is going to be $1 million company.
High five. Amen to that. You have to speak it into existence.
Oh, yeah.
That is something that you definitely have to do. So going through the struggles, I know when I got ready to launch my company, you were actually a motivation. You don't even know it. You're one of the reasons why I launched my company. If you don't remember, I came to your house.
Yes.
I came to your house. So, like I said, Something Class here kind of focuses on relationship enhancement. And I remember leaving Lakeisha's house, having a ball. And I called my significant other up and, on the way home, and I was like, hey, I want to do this. And he was like, you want to do what? That's not you. Like, you're not that type of person. I was like, hey, look, first, I'm a businesswoman first.
Yeah.
That's what you must remember about me, is I'm a businesswoman first. Anything I do, it's businesses first. It doesn't, particular businesses, they don't have to define the owner or the people that work for them. Right. Because it's business.
Would that be called a serial entrepreneur?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm just now learning that word. Actually,
yes. Serial entrepreneur.
Okay, just learned about that.
But so, anyways, I went into it, and I started working on, like, 3 days later. I'm working on it. Like, I'm up at night. These ideas are coming. I always tell people, get you a notepad when the ideas come and start writing it down.
Yeah.
Because you will forget, because your mind is just like everywhere, and you have all these ideas running through your mind. So I'd get up in the middle of the night, I'd write it down. This was last November when last November, because it was October when you had it, October 28th.
Yeah,
I remember the date. So, anyways, I got started on the website, and had difficulties with that. It almost took me a whole year to get my website up and running.
Man.
Like going back and forth with these people. We started out at $10,000 from our website. Got down to $7,000. Then we got down to right at $5,000 for the website. And I'm thinking, I'm not paying $5,000 for this website. You know, but I knew that this was something that was needed. And I said to myself, you know, Yolanda, you have to practice what you preach. Because it's always invest in yourself. If you don't invest into yourself, who wants to invest in you?
Right.
As well. So I knew this was the website that I needed for the company. And I went, you know, I started marketing it. I flew everywhere. I flew to Washington, D.C. That's where I got a chance to meet Mr. Trevor Otts over in D.C. and talking about my company. Anyways, that was a great experience. And I remember getting ready to launch. On February 10th, I had the launch date. This is going to happen. This is going to work. It's going to happen in 3 days. On February 7th, there was a lady that was supposed to actually help me out. She was going to be like, help me out with the entertainment part. And she canceled on me. And when she canceled, I thought I was going to die, literally. I thought I was going to have a nervous breakdown. I picked my son up from school, evidently dropped him off, went to Walmart, walked in Walmart, came out, looked down in the basket, and I saw my truck keys, and I thought to myself, oh, Lord, I grabbed the wrong keys out of the car. So I'm walking around, and I call my neighbor, and I'm like, hey, you're going to have to come up here because I think I left my keys in my car. I don't see my car, and somebody stole my car. And she's like, Yolanda, your gray car? And I'm like, yeah. She was like, I'm outside, and it's in front of your house. And I'm like, it can't be. It can't be because I drove it here. Like, this is how stressed out that I literally got because of this one thing. You know, just this little one thing just blew everything out of proportion for me because that's what I depended on. Like, my grand opening depended on this. And so I'm like, oh, shoot. Well, now I've got to find my truck. And so there's about 70-something-year-old lady. She's trying to walk the parking lot, trying to help me find my truck. I had parked on the other side. Evidently, you know how it's packed at Walmart. So I swooped in there, the first parking spot that I saw. But I had to go on the other side of the store. And I canceled it. I canceled my opening, my grand opening. I was like, I can't do this. Like, I was literally about to have a nervous breakdown because when she did that, that killed every single thing. That taught me a valuable lesson, is that you can't depend on anyone. And you need to have a backup plan. Because if you don't have a backup plan, what happens if you don't have a plan B? Yeah, exactly. And I didn't have anything. And then as I went on, I started working numbers, trying to get everything else set up for my consultants, going back through and realized I had screwed everything all up. Had I launched, I'd be sick. I would have been in the negative had I launched. So thank God for that almost nervous breakdown that stopped me. And then I took the time, and it took a long time. Then I moved my launch date to July 14th. Was I completely ready? No. But I knew I had to launch on July 14th. You know, and I did, and I'm actually still working on some things. It's a process. So I said that because a lot of us, we rush into getting into business. We've got to do this. We don't have a backup plan. You need an A, B, C, D, E, and F.
All the way to Z, honestly.
Yeah, exactly, because you don't ever know when something is going to happen. And I'm thinking, darn it, here I am coaching and helping people, and where am I at? It's like a marriage counselor. You know, you give this great advice, and then what happens when it falls back on you? So I'm not ashamed to admit any failure, but that taught me a good lesson in business that I can actually pass on. So that's, you know, some of the struggles that I've seen. Lack of support. Like, I don't get a lot of support. The people that I honestly thought that were going to support me, they don't support me. You know, I'm thinking my hometown is going to support me. The people that I know.
You know who I'm actually focusing on? I do have poor people that are from Dallas that do support me, but I have a lot of transplants. The first thing that people say when they come here, when they meet me, they're coming from places like California, New Orleans, is Houston. They say, where is the black culture? Where are the people? Why don't they get along? And they want that, they say that it's cliquish, that all people do here is basically go to the revival, go to happy hour. And that's pretty much like there's nothing in between unless you're in some type of, sorority, or you go to this church or some type of small group. So there's got to be, and that's where, I'm looking into just create that atmosphere for them, because I was traveling. That's why I canceled my trips to Atlanta and LA and Miami, because I said that there are people that are here, that want what these other cities already have. Right. So it's like, bringing sand to the beach. Mm-hmm. So my goal is that I want to just network. And that's why I reached out to you, is because what I'm doing right now, how you choose your friend, I'm choosing my networking partners. And I'm just testing out the waters right now before we start to really do the big things as far as like putting money together. Like, there was a sister that I was supposed to be meeting somewhere, and I told her the address, and she said she was going to come, and she didn't come, and she didn't call me, but just started, talking like nothing ever happened. And I'm not upset at her. I just know I will never do business with her. So that's just how I'm doing, because I have experienced a lot of hurdles and a lot of struggles. I've even had to the point where I've rented out a space, and I get there, I'm there with the vendors and food in the car, children in the car, and the door is locked. And then when they finally come, they have an attitude. And I just told them yesterday, hey, remember, I shouldn't even have to remind you that I'm renting out your space for an event. I go in the salon, there's weave, hair everywhere, every place is dirty, and this is something that I have to deal with. And that particular event that I was doing, I actually just stopped after that. And so I said, what I'm going to do is get my own space. And I subleased with some sisters, and they basically said, okay, we don't want you to work in here, we're going to do yoni steams, and, we're going to basically get another nail tech and all this type of stuff. And that's fine, because that pushed me to get my own space. So I have my own space now, and I'm just going to get a larger location. And I've just been gradually growing. I actually had a space out in Addison. I experienced really tough racism out there. The security guard was flattening my tires. So, wow. Yes, it was, and I would look at the receipt of every time that I had a flat tire, and it was when I went there and I parked in the garage. It was never when I didn't park outside of the garage. So I remember every time I would get home, I would hear my tire. And I thought it was a neighbor once. But then when I moved to another location, another home residence, the same thing happened again. And so, I ended up, finishing my lease there. So there's definitely a lot of obstacles. But what I'm trying to do is just become more independent, to where I can have my own space. Or even if like we get together and we decide that we're going to do things, we're going to have an agreement, right. We're going to sign not a verbal agreement, but some type of written agreement.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes. Yes, I think, and I also think as a black person in business, starting your business, we have a lot of more obstacles than the average person. Out of different minorities, we have different obstacles. I've helped women with their hair business, and just different businesses. And I told one lady, I did her business cards for her. And a lot of us like to put our picture on our business cards. And I was like, let me tell you something. The business that you're in, you can't do that. You don't need to do that. She's like, why? Because we want, first of all, as a consumer, when I see your business card and it has your picture, that's all about you. That's not about the customer. That's how I look at it. Yeah. Another thing that I don't think we think about as African Americans is that limits you when you put your picture on there. I don't need to be the face of my company. I don't need everybody to know that it's me. I want to be behind the scenes. Because when somebody of a different race, they can look at that and they don't have to do business with you. That may have been $1 million in your pocket, but just because your picture was on there, then they don't want to do business with you. And I think it's sad. You know, I think it's very sad, but that's something that we have to look at as being in business. Also, the names of our businesses. Most people want to put their name on there, and when your name is Markeisha, whatever, you can't do that. I mean, you can, but it limits you because some of those potential customers that may have done business with you, they don't want to do business with you. Now. Yeah, they don't. But that's not something that we think about, and it's not something that we should even have to think about. But it's something that we should and we must start thinking about when creating these, these different businesses and stuff. From a business standpoint, just looking at it and saying, oh, yeah, she's just he or she, they're all about self.
Right.
Then the name is kind of just like a resume. I've been an office manager, and I've shredded resumes. They just came in, and I've just thrown them. And I'm sure people do that by looking at the name. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I mean, even with me starting over from my previous beauty supply store, like, it hurt so bad because I loved the name that I had created for that company. And I was just like, this is my name. I did this. Mm-hmm. And so my mom, I'm telling you, my mom has been like my biggest supporter. That's my lady. But she was like, get something else that fits you. And she was like, yeah, I understand why you're hurt behind that. She said, but get something that fits you. Shows who you are. And so, I mean, when I came, I've always been LaKeese or Keese. That's been my nickname forever. So when I came out here, not a lot of people could even say my nickname. Mm-hmm. So I got this nickname Keys. I don't know where that came from, but it just started. And so I was like, well, that's what everybody calls me anyway. So why not? Why not have that on there? And it fits, and everybody loves it now. So names are very important. And I mean, I've even heard when you're naming your children, their names are so important because that literally leads them for the rest of their life. And I've heard people say that, even when you said you shredded resume, like
not because of the name though. I'm just like,
but that is a thing that people look at it and they're like, what is this?
Mm-hmm. But what I have noticed is that sometimes it's like even with the name, when they see you, you can kind of get that. Oh, I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. So.
Oh yeah.
Even with the voice, how we get the the voice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And we change it up, and then when they see you, they're like,
you sound nothing. And I have that customer service voice because I grew up in a area that was predominantly white. Mm-hmm. So of course I had to speak in a different way. Now when I'm with my friends from South Dallas, they're like, "Ooh, you're so proper." Just, they're right. Like, "Ooh, you're so proper," and I'm just like, "Well, how else am I supposed to talk? I don't know what to do."
Right.
So when they call and they're like, "I just talked to this white lady on the phone," that's not who I saw, and I've gotten that. How do you say your name? And because sometimes on my resume I'll put my middle name because it's Yvonne. That you can't tell one way or another who that is.
Right.
But and to me now that I'm a lot older, it's kind of embarrassing that I would even do that because, I mean, yeah, my mom came up with that name. But now my name's important to me. I don't care. I love my name. Right. You can't say it, I'm not going to answer you. But I know who people are talking to. But you're definitely right. The name thing, very important.
Yes, very much so. I've always been told that I talk, quote unquote, white.
Oh.
Like, what does a white person talk like? Come on. But talk proper. I don't talk proper. Do I sound educated?
Yes.
Maybe is that what you mean?
Well educated.
I remember when I was in dental school, I had finished and I was getting ready to do my internship. In Limestone County, I'll gladly say that on the air. Mm-hmm. And I went to a dental office in Limestone County, I had sent my resume. At one school, I had a 4.0. The other school, I had a 3.75 GPA. Faxed my resume, sent that over, and they said, okay, you're going to start. I remember that Monday. And that Friday, I called and I said, can I come in? I want to take a tour of the office before I get ready to start. I had my kinky twist, and I walked in, and she said, may I help you? You have an appointment? I said, no, ma'am. I'm here to do a tour of the office. My name is Yolanda. She said, just like that, you're Yolanda? I said, my heart was so hurt at this point in time because I know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's because I'm African American. And I said, yes, ma'am. So she gets up. She goes, talk to the doctor. We do the tour, and she said, I need to speak with you. And I said, okay. She said, well, we can't let you do your internship because we actually just hired someone, and we can't have both of you working. And I was like, well, I'm not being paid. You know, I just need to do this so I can graduate. And she was like, but yeah, it would be 2 new people starting out. I said, okay, thank you, no problem. I walked out of there, and I went to Dr. Charles Dillon in Groesbeck, Texas. He was my dentist as a child coming up, and he let me do my internship. I told him exactly what happened. He let me do my internship. 2 weeks into it, he actually hired me on, and I was the first African American to work in a dental office in the Tri-Stone area. But things like that.
Yeah.
Those are things that we shouldn't have to worry about. Those are things that our kids shouldn't have to worry about. But we do have to worry about as a business when starting a business. So those are some things that, you know, we need to think about when we're starting up our business and going forth. You know, having a backup plan. Support. Who's going to support you? Don't depend on your family and friends because they are the last ones to support you. They want to jump on the bandwagon after you made it.
Started, yeah.
No, not when you get started. But after
you
you made it.
it.
Yeah, after you made it. Oh, yeah, I knew her. You know, I knew her. Lisa Nichols, I could just imagine how many people didn't support her dream. And look at her now. She's at, what, $47.5 million? You know, she came from, like, the projects in California. You know, I can imagine how many people laughed at her and thought that, oh, she's not going to make it. And now, oh, yeah, I went to school with her. You know, I knew her. So family and friends, one, they're not going to support you. They're going to be the last person to support you. You know.
And we just have to make that a reality.
With my family, I think, I don't know, they're very supportive.
Well, that's good.
So I can't really, but I understand when it comes to certain friends.
Yes.
They very much so are. And I've seen that. Even with myself, like, I've seen it. They know that I'm starting this, and you would think that, like, okay, I know the situation and what happened. Let me go there. They know what type of person I am, but they don't. And I'm okay with that. But the people who do support me, I love them for that. I love them for that. And I focus more on the people that support me than the people that don't.
Right. So true. Really quick, I am going to give out a gift certificate to the 4th caller. I don't know how many people we actually have online, but I need you guys to look at the page, and the 4th caller starting now will receive a 3-day, 2-night vacation to, well, you actually have a choice in Florida, Cancun, some other places in Mexico, places in Texas. It's a 3-day, 2-night stay. So if anyone is online, the 4th caller will receive a vacation.
And how do they call in?
The telephone number is on the page. They have to be online. The telephone number is 214-717-4827. 214-717-4827. Call now if you are online paying attention.
I want to call in.
I know, right? Right, yes. So the 4th caller will receive a vacation stay. And I will get their information. But anyways, I would like to say thank you very much, ladies, for coming on to the show with Let's Talk About It with Yolanda. Before we get ready to wrap up, if you would tell the audience your name and how to get in contact with you really quick. 4th caller. Hello, caller. You're on with Let's Talk About It with Yolanda. Can I get your name?
Hello?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Say it again.
Yes, you're on it with Let's Talk About It with Yolanda. What's your name?
Kendra Dukes.
Kendra Dukes.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Kendra, if I can get you to inbox me your name and telephone number and your mailing address, you have won a 3-day, 2-night stay.
Yay!
Yes, make sure you give me a shout out also on Facebook, and if you're on Instagram, give a shout out. But inbox me and I'll get that to you.
I know her. She's the owner of Bad
Thank
Fellow
you.
Records. She's awesome.
And you have a good day.
You too.
Okay, goodbye. So how can they reach you? What's the name of your...
My website is Keys Beauty Boutique, and it's KEYS, and then Beauty Boutique, of course, .com. And I'm also on Instagram and Facebook under the same name.
Okay, Abana Adu. You can find me on Instagram at craftswoman, Facebook, the Pregnancy and Womb Wellness Center. You can go to my website, craftswoman.com, and go to contacts and list your information.
Okay, and their information will also be on Let's Talk About It with Yolanda. You can follow me on Facebook at, of course, www.facebook.com. Let's Talk About It Yolanda, and Let's Talk About It Yolanda on Instagram as well. Thank you. Make sure you check out the Boss and Boss Annual Conference. If you're an entrepreneur, I really need you there. You need to be there. I can want it for you all day, but you got to want it for yourself. This is an event that you don't want to miss. It's going to be epic. Epic. It's Boss and Boss, and Boss is BOSS and BAWSE for the feminine version of Boss Annual Conference. And you can go online, follow us on Facebook as well, Instagram, register on eventbrite.com. Thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk About It with Yolanda. We'll see you next Monday from 8 to 9 p.m. Thank you.
Have you ever dreamed of being your own boss, setting your hours, and having total control over your income? Have you ever dreamed of being successful and having